Let's suppose you have already learned all the concepts in the chapter Admission of a Partner. You know how to apply them, where to post each and every adjustment and get your final balance sheet tallied. But will this knowledge alone help you get the 100% marks for the question? Not necessarily. In big questions like preparing revaluation account, partner's capital account and the balance sheet in admission of a partner, you are not only required to have proper understanding of the concepts, but it is also very necessary that you should know how to start and end your answer or how to present your answer. In short, you should know how to manage time while attempting the big questions. Understand that there are specific marks allotted for each and every answer. If you give more time to one particular area, then you will be losing time to do some other areas. In this video, we are going to learn about how to attempt the admission question properly so that we get all the marks we deserve. We will learn how to approach the answer by solving a practical question. At first, read the balance sheet properly. While you are reading the balance sheet, mark the items that will be distributed to the partners. For example, goodwill balances, reserves, profit and loss account, debit or credit balances. Also mark workman compensation reserve or investment fluctuation reserve if any adjustment for the same is given. After you have read the balance sheet, start reading the adjustments. Here also, as you are reading the adjustments, mark the items in the balance sheet for which adjustments are required. After you have completed the first reading and have marked all the adjustment, start reading the question for the second time and also start solving it. Before starting the answer, always make the formats first. In the main questions of admission of a partner, always start with revaluation account, then partner's capital account and then the balance sheet. After the balance sheet, give all your working notes. Remember that working notes can come either at the beginning of the answer or at the end of the answer, but it should never come between revaluation account and the balance sheet. Note this question down or take a screenshot of the same. Start reading the question. First step, identify the areas in the balance sheet for which there will be distribution towards the partners. General reserve, workman compensation reserve and advertisement suspense account. These three items we need to distribute to the partners, therefore mark these items. Let's start to read the adjustments or additional information. They admitted Tanya as a partner for 1/6 share in profit. It was decided that value of land and building be increased by Rs 3,000. So mark land and building in the balance sheet. Value of stock be increased by Rs 2,500. Mark stock in the balance sheet. Provision for doubtful debt be increased by Rs 1,500. So let's mark provision for doubtful debt in the balance sheet. A bill of exchange for Rs 10,000, which was previously discounted with the banker, was dishonored earlier, but no entry has been passed for dishonor. This entry will require us to make adjustment in the debtor's account and the bank account, so mark these two items. Liability against workman compensation reserve was determined as Rs 20,000. We have already marked workman compensation reserve. Tanya brought in as her share of goodwill Rs 10,000 by check. Tanya was to bring in further capital, further check of Rs 15,000 as her capital. Prepare revaluation account, partner's capital account and the balance sheet of the firm. Now let us read the question again and start solving it simultaneously. First, creditors of Rs 10,000. No adjustment for this is required. So note down the value of creditors in the new balance sheet as it is. Next, Employees Provident Fund. Remember that Employees Provident Fund is not a reserve, but it is a liability against employees' compensation. Therefore, it will not be distributed to the partners, but it will be retained in the balance sheet. So note this value in the new balance sheet as well. General Reserve. General Reserve of Rs 30,000 will be distributed to the old partners in the old profit sharing ratio. Why? Because General Reserve was made with the efforts of the old partners. Therefore, it should be distributed to the old partners in the old profit sharing ratio. Workmen Compensation Reserve of 15,000. There is an adjustment for the same. Liability against Workmen Compensation Reserve was determined at 20,000. The reserve for workmen compensation is only Rs 15,000, but the liability towards workmen compensation is Rs 20,000. Therefore, the excess liability of 5,000 will be going to the revaluation account. Remember a simple technique of doing the revaluation account, and that is, bad thing in revaluation account goes on the debit side. For example, decrease in the value of an asset or increase in the value of liability. And good thing in revaluation account goes on the credit side. That is, increase in the value of an asset or decrease in the value of a liability. In this, since the liability, that is, workmen compensation claim has increased from 15,000 to 20,000, the excess 5,000 will be recorded on the debit side of revaluation account. Next, Partners Capital Account. Record the value of capital accounts in the capital account table. Debtors of Rs 22,000. There is an adjustment for debtors. That is, a bill of exchange of Rs 10,000 which was previously discounted with the banker was dishonored on 31st March 2017, but no entry has been passed for the dishonor. Since no entry has been passed for the dishonor, we will have to pass the entry now and give the effect in the balance sheet. The journal entry for the same will be bills discounted with the bank and dishonor will decrease the value of bank account and increase the debtors balance. So the value of debtors will come to Rs 22,000 plus 10,000, that is 32,000. Next, less provision for doubtful debts of Rs 1,000. There is an adjustment for the same. Provision for doubtful debts be increased by Rs 1,500. Increase in the value of provision is an increase in liability, and therefore it will come in the debit side of revaluation account. Also give its effect in the balance sheet. Next, stock of Rs 11,000. There is an adjustment for the same. Value of stock be increased by Rs 2,500. Increase in the value of an asset comes on the credit side of revaluation account. Give the effect of the same in the balance sheet. Bank account of Rs 21,000. We will do the bank account at the end of the answer. Land and building of Rs 18,000. There is an adjustment for the same. Value of land and building be increased by Rs 3,000. Similar to stock, increase in the value of an asset comes on the credit side. Therefore, record the value of land and building increase in the credit side of revaluation account and give its effect in the balance sheet. Next, plant and machinery of Rs 12,000. Since there is no adjustment for the same, record the same value in the new balance sheet. Advertisement suspense account of Rs 5,000. Advertisement suspense account is an item of deferred revenue expenditure which should be going to the old partners in the old ratio. Why? These expenses were incurred by the old partners. Therefore, it should go to the old partners, and that too in the old profit sharing ratio. Let's come to the additional information now. They admitted Tanya as a partner on 1st April 2017 for 1/6 share in the profits. It was decided that the value of land and building be increased by Rs 3,000. The adjustment is done. Value of stock be increased by Rs 2,500. The adjustment is done. Provision for doubtful debts be increased by 1,500. Done. A bill of exchange. This adjustment is also done. Liability against workmen compensation. Adjustment done. Tanya brought in as her share of goodwill Rs 10,000 by check. This adjustment will be done in a working note. Since no information regarding the new profit sharing ratio is given in the question, assume that the sacrificing ratio is same as the old profit sharing ratio, that is 3:2. So divide Rs 10,000 in the ratio of 3:2, and this will be credited to the partner's capital account as premium for goodwill account. Next adjustment. Tanya was also to bring in further check of Rs 15,000 as her capital. Add the amount of 15,000 in the capital account for Tanya. Now come to the last pending item, that is the bank balance. The bank account opening balance was Rs 21,000. Add Rs 15,000 plus 10,000 brought by Tanya and less Rs 10,000 for adjustment regarding dishonor of bill of exchange. The balance of Rs 36,000 should be added in the new balance sheet. Now, after we have completed all the adjustments, you are supposed to start with getting the balance in the revaluation account. The loss of revaluation account will be transferred to the capital accounts. Keep in mind, the losses in revaluation is transferred to the debit of partner's capital, as debit balance in the capital account represents decrease in the value of capital. After this, find the balance of partner's capital account. Transfer the balance in the partner's capital account to the balance sheet. Now check that your balance sheet should tally. If in any case the balance sheet does not tally, find out the difference in amounts. After you get that amount, look for the same in the entire question. It might be the case that you have missed one particular adjustment. If you are not able to find the amount, go for a quick check in the entire question. However, it is not advisable to check each and every item in the question, as that will require a lot of efforts and time and will frustrate you while doing the next question.